Hello, everyone. I have another massive book on haul for you today. I've spent the last 2 months going through my bookshelves, pulling out books that I no longer want to read or reread, or even duplicates of books that I have better copies of. So I'm going to go through my massive book on haul for you. The first book, Aristotle the Politics, I just found a nicer copy, so decided to get rid of this one. Same thing with The Orphan Master's Son. I found a really, really cute hardcover copy of this book, even though I have not yet read it. So I don't know. It was like $1 for the nice hardcover copy, so I grabbed it. Same thing with Dark Vanessa, nicer copy. This is a book I read a couple years ago, Everything I Never Told You. I think I've read everything by Celeste Ning now, and I generally like her work, but I don't see myself rereading it. This was probably my favorite of her books, and I've kept it for a while, but at this point, I really don't feel like rereading this book. Another book that I don't want to reread is The Nutshell by Ian McEwan. This was great. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a very, very fun book. Other than Atonement and this book, I have not really found books by Ian McEwan that I want to keep and reread. But I held on to this one, but in the end, I don't think I want to reread this, so I'm going to let it go. The Price of Privilege. I read this book years ago, and I think I liked it, but I don't think I need to reread it or keep it. It's a bit outdated now. Even the kids on the cover are like looking at really old phones. So I'm sure there's updated versions of this, of these issues that I can read. Good Insight is a book I read last year, and I really enjoyed this. The only problem is the majority of it was geared towards younger children or parents of younger children, and I got a lot out of this book, and it's definitely changed my parenting for the best, but I don't think I need to reread it. I did read and reread the sections that did apply to my kids, and I think I got the gist. I don't need to reread it. He's Not Lazy. I read this book years ago, so many years ago. I don't know if I need to read it again. I think it was informative, basically just trying to convince you that your son's a good person. He's going to be okay. Believe in him, help him believe in himself. So I guess that's helpful, but I don't think I need to reread it. I read The Professor and the Madman last year. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was very interesting, but it's not really like a special interest topic for me that I'm going to just, reach for to reread again or anytime soon. Plus the copy's pretty battered. If many years from now I do have this urge to reread this book, maybe I'll find a nicer copy or I can just listen to the audiobook. This is a book that I've read many times and I am done with it. I'm starting to really get good at decluttering. I do it every couple months, periodically going through the whole house and getting rid of all the clutter. So I don't think I need this guide anymore. It's not the most enjoyable book on decluttering. Same thing with this book. I think I've read it 3 to 4 times already since I got it. And it's really just about keep getting your kids into the decluttering mindset. And I have achieved that. My kids are very good at decluttering now. Lord of the Flies, I have a nicer copy of this, even though this is a pretty cute copy. It's very tiny, and the copy I got was like really fancy, so I'm going to replace that. This is a book I enjoyed last year, but I really don't think I'm going to reach for this again. The books are pretty obscure, and even though I read many of them, I don't think I need to go through this author's journey through these books again. So I'm just going to let that one go. This is The Skylark Sings with Me. This is a book about a dad wrote about homeschooling his daughters. It was a very good book. I enjoyed it. It took me a while to get through it. It's a little bit long-winded. I don't see myself reading this one again. So I'm just going to let that one go. This is a memoir by Prachi Gupta. I really enjoyed this. I got this as an uncorrected proof 2 years ago. This is all about growing up Indian in the United States, and also some of the pressures of your family, pressures of society, toxic masculinity. I really enjoyed this, and if I do want to reread this book, I'm hoping I'll find a finished copy somewhere at a thrift store, or maybe I'll just listen to the audiobook. The audiobook is very good. I did listen to a large portion of it, so I don't think I want to keep this uncorrected copy. I read this book several times now, and it just kind of makes me sad because for the longest time, this book talks about a very special type of education for the next generation and really innovating education, changing the way that schools are teaching. But then I ended up just sending my kid to a traditional school because we decided that it was probably the best choice for him. So, as much as I was into all these innovative educational techniques for a time, I don't think I want to revisit them. They're a bit experimental, and they just kind of make me sad. I don't know if my kids would really do well in that type of environment. The Horse, I got a nice hardcover copy, even though I've not read it. Same thing with A People's History of the United States. I think I only just read the first chapter of this book, and it was a very long chapter, but I do want to get into this. So I got a nicer copy, that's all. And then same thing with this biography of Gorbachev. This is kind of a battered one, and I got a brand new one. So I do want to read that because that is a very interesting time in Russian history. Sheets is a graphic novel that I really enjoyed, but I don't think I want to read it again. It was a bit creepy, and my kids didn't really want it, so I'm just going to let it go. It wasn't perfect. It was almost perfect, but A Home at the End of the World, I really, really like this book a lot. And if I find a nicer copy of this book, I think I will get it. But this is like a movie version. I've never watched the movie. I don't need to keep this one. I think this is kind of like a let this book go and maybe it'll come back to me at some point situation. So that's what that is. John Green, Looking for Alaska. I'm going to let this one go. I just don't want to reread it. After reading Secret History, I don't think I need to hold on to this. Shy Creatures, I love this book. This is an uncorrected proof I got last year, and I really, really enjoyed it, but I don't like this uncorrected proof cover, and this is another situation where I'm going to let this one go and hope that a finished copy makes it back into my library at some point. Hopefully it'll be available in thrift stores. The Humans by Matt Haig. I didn't care for this book. It was just it was just a bit mediocre. I don't see myself rereading that. I thought I would, but I'm not. Same thing with Tokyo Uno Station. I got through it. I don't know. I don't have any like feeling that I want to go back and read this again. So I'm going to let that one go. This book I actively disliked. I had an extremely hard time getting through it. And then when the big spoiler or the big reveal happened at the end, I was just I didn't care. I almost felt like I was taken advantage of. It was an overly complicated writing style. I just did not like the way it was written. It was too much for me. So it's just not working out with that book. I don't think it's for me. There's definitely some books I read and I feel that this book was written for me, like a type of person like me. And then other ones, not for me. So that's a not for me kind of book. Leaf Storm, I just didn't care. I like a lot of this author's books. 100 Years of Solitude was great. Love in the Time of Cholera. Chronicles of a Death Foretold was amazing. His collection of short stories was amazing. But this book didn't really stay in my mind or excite me in any way. The Good Earth, I really, really did love this book when I read it. But I just don't think I'm going to pick it up again. I just don't. I don't feel like I will. Hellbent, I liked. I didn't love it as much as the previous book, but I did find a nicer cover of this book, so I got that one. This is an uncorrected proof that I got, and I never read it, and I just don't know if I will. I just don't think I will. And maybe if I run into a finished copy of it, I'll pick it up and finally read it, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen. I don't seem to be interested in the plot. So I'm gonna let that one go. I got 2 PG Woodhouse books, Very Good Jeeves, and The Code of the Woosters. I'm just gonna let these go. I've tried reading both these books, and I just can't seem to care about what's happening, and the humor is not funny to me at all. So I don't know. Another author that's obviously not for me. The Mist of Avalon. I got this one last year, and it looked familiar to me, so I picked it up. It was $3 at a thrift store, but then I realized I'm not really interested in medieval European-based books and King Arthur type adventures. So I'm just going to let that one go. Becky Chambers, I got halfway through the first book. I cannot deal with the banter, and I don't like the characters. I don't like the plot. I don't like anything about this book. This is obviously a very well-loved author and a very well-loved book series. And again, it was not written for me. It just, I can't even finish this book. So I'm just going to let it go. And I'm sure somebody will find it and fall in love with it and be very happy. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I read several times. Oh, this is a memoir of Hunter S. Thompson. It was interesting, but it's also kind of crazy, and it made me feel kind of uncomfortable, especially at the end. So I'm just going to let this one go. I don't really feel like I want to reread it. White Robes and Broken Badges. I really enjoyed this book. This is another one I got from Goodreads. This is a finished copy. And I was definitely at the edge of my seat the whole time I was reading this book, but I just don't want to reread it now or anytime soon. I'll Be 5 More Minutes is another uncorrected proof I got. I really, really enjoyed this book. And this is one I really do hope I find a finished copy of so I can reread it. This author was very funny. This was very engaging, and I really enjoyed her story. And some of the things she said made me laugh out loud. So this was a great read. This is another uncorrected proof, The Flag, the Cross, and the Station Wagon. I really liked this book when I read it, but I cannot remember anything at all about it. So I'm just going to let it go. But I did like it, I remember. I think I gave it 5 stars. The Paths of Descent. This book was amazing. I don't really read too much about military history. I guess I'm starting to a little more now. This is mostly just stories from various soldiers talking about their experience serving in the U.S. Army. It was a great book. I really enjoyed this, but I don't want to hold on to the advanced readers edition. I think audiobook works best for this book, just to hear their voices. I don't remember. I think they do record their own voices, or at least it feels that way when you're reading it. It's possible they were actors. I don't know. But anyway, Writers and Lovers. I just finished this book last week. I liked it. I didn't love it. I don't think I'm going to reread it. I felt the same way about her other book, Euphoria. I liked it. I didn't love it. I passed it on. It just wasn't perfect. It wasn't for me. So I'm going to let that one go. Declutter Like a Mother. This is a book I just bought last month, and I read it right away, and it was terrible. I remember I read it years ago, and I think I kind of liked it, but now when I reread it, it was just too chatty. It was too, like, you go girl, kind of have a drink of wine kind of situation. I just didn't connect with this author, and even though she did encourage me to get rid of more stuff, and I actually did declutter quite a bit. I don't think this isn't a decluttering or a minimalism kind of book that I will continue to use. It just, the author and I did not connect. I have a couple of these SparkNote 101 books. A couple years ago, I ended up buying like the whole set. Every single SparkNotes 101 guides that they had, I bought every single one because I found the literary analysis ones so amazing. But when I got the political science ones and the history ones, I just, I felt a bit lacking to me. It was very thin, and plus they're probably so outdated now. Unlike literary analysis that doesn't get outdated, these political science and history ones, I don't think I need to hold on to. Drop Acid. I decided to just let this one go. I'm not that into weight loss books at this time, and I don't think I need to read that, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Breath, I've tried reading. I didn't connect with this book, and then I read the reviews, and a lot of people said it wasn't real science. It was a bit hokey and maybe even a little dangerous, so I'm just gonna part ways with it. I don't need to read that. Oh, another one of these SparkNotes 101, that's sociology. Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. I know this is a classic. People love this book, but I started reading it. I got kind of bored, and then I don't know. I just don't think this kind of motorcycle journey is for me. So I'm gonna not read that. This is another book that everyone seems to love, but I have no interest in it. It's been sitting on my shelves for years. I never want to pick it up. I never want to read it. I just don't really care about athletics. So I'm sure somebody will find this book and be very happy because it has amazing reviews. I'm going to get rid of When More Is Not Better. I've tried reading this book. I had a hard time following it. It's about economic efficiency, and I don't know. I'm just not interested. I'm going to let that one go. I'm going to get rid of this cute little book, I Think Therefore I Draw. I started reading it. I got through a bit of it. I wasn't really interested. I didn't really think it was that clever. I'm going to try something else to learn philosophy, not this one. This is another one I told myself to read or get rid of because I've had it so long. But I didn't really connect with this one either. I didn't really understand what it was doing. So, and I think some other reviewers on Goodreads agreed with me. I got H as for Hawk because it was considered a really valuable book, and I think it was on some lists of books to read last year. So I grabbed it, and I just didn't really connect with the first half of it. I ended up putting it back on my shelf, and now I don't know. And this is such a dirty, broken copy. Ugh, it's just disgusting. I'm just gonna let it go. And then Patti Smith's Just Kids. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna read this. It is supposed to be amazing. Maybe this book will come back to me at some point in my life. Maybe when I'm a different person. Maybe a more mature person. Maybe when I'm more intelligent. But at this time, I have no interest in this book. It's just taking up space. And then The Brothers Karamazov, I got another really cute copy of it that I wanted, so I'm going to let this older Barnes & Noble's classic go. And then finally, Matthew Quick, We Are the Light. I did get a copy of this book directly from the publisher, which was really great. I read it. I absolutely loved it, but it was so depressing and horrible. Just the thought of picking this one up again and reading it fills me with dread, even though this book was absolutely beautiful and I really did love it. So I'm just going to let this one go. It was great. I'm going to let it go. Anyway, so that's it. That's my book on haul. Need to count my books. I'll put it in the description. And yeah, I'm just going to keep doing this every couple months until my TBR and my book collection is where I want it to be, which is probably going to be an ongoing battle. So thank you for watching.